It was very funny to be recreating that running sequence and the picnic.
So great, which, um, so we, so for me, I think probably the biggest challenge was the first episode, just because it was the first thing we did as a company. So we were all coming together and figuring out how to tackle this really wonderful but really ambitious show together to create a sense of company.
Now, with the benefit of hindsight and time, has the one that you considered the most challenging or the most interesting to film changed, or is it the same as it was when you were doing it?
Sorry.
You go. You go.
I was going to say that the idea of the live taping, I mean, first off, when you start a job, you're already nervous because it's a bunch of firsts that you have to get out of the way. You're acting in front of the crew for the first time. You're acting with some new people for the first time, and even though we rehearsed, it didn't. That wasn't that wasn't like as comforting as having multiple takes at your disposal. And so I was terrified to do the 50s episode, and then I kept thinking, oh well, if it's terrible, we're just gonna go back and reshoot as much as possible. But we didn't really do that. We only had to do a couple technical things after the live taping, and then that was just the episode. And so that was pretty terrifying. But I do have to say that just filming the Marvel-y sequences where we're back in the MCU world and we're fighting, those will continue to be so challenging because it's you're working with not much, and the stakes are so high, and I can't really do much magical power things of my own. So it was really fun to have the sitcom practical gags that we could interact with, and it does always become challenging to then go into the MCU where it's all imagination, and the stakes are high, and so it is, both worlds are challenging for different reasons.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was really resistant to the idea of doing it in front of a live studio audience, and I have to say it was such a great decision because just as a company, I think we all took a big leap of faith, and you kind of, you'd spent 2 days in production and already you had one episode, and you thought, well, I guess this is the tone then. I think for Lizzie, and Catherine and Matt and Jack, it was just, it really said, well, I guess the die is cast, and it ended up being great.
It was great. We've talked a bit about the online reaction to the show.